What does it cost a person to be the one who makes everyone else feel okay while quietly carrying something nobody ever thinks to ask about? Everyone knew that Nick was the reason people actually looked forward to coming to school. He had a gift that is genuinely rare, the ability to walk into any room and make people feel lighter just by being there. Teachers would gear up to discipline him and end up laughing instead. He won class clown every single year, without competition, and hosted every school event like he had been born for a microphone. When the entire grade had to retake standardized tests because of a computer glitch, Nick showed up with an inflatable dinosaur costume hidden under his regular clothes and slowly inflated it during the exam until the teacher looked up and found a full-sized T-Rex sitting at a desk taking a math test. The room dissolved completely, but what made Nick different from every other funny person was the precision of his kindness. When a shy girl dropped her entire lunch tray in front of the cafeteria, he immediately dropped his own and yelled twins, turning the moment into something everyone laughed at together instead of at her. He noticed a kid who always ate alone and built an entire bit about how sitting by yourself was actually the VIP section of the cafeteria. The kid started eating with people the following week. During junior year, when the weight of college applications had everyone stressed and snapping at each other, Nick launched a daily joke segment during morning announcements called Bad Joke Wednesday, which he delivered every single day of the week. The principal tried to shut it down. The student body complained so loudly and so persistently that it was reinstated. The talent show was supposed to be his night. The auditorium was packed beyond capacity. People stood 3 deep along the back wall just to watch whatever Nick had been working on for months. He grabbed the microphone and started a bit about how school Spirit Week themes had gotten so strange that next year they would probably introduce Dress Like Your Parents. Biggest disappointment day? Then paused and said, wait, that's just every day for me. The room was losing it. Phones were out. Everyone was filming. Then Nick went quiet. He stood completely still on that stage, holding the microphone and staring at something in the crowd. Nobody could tell what he was looking at. The laughter faded. He stood there for what felt like a very long time. Then he set the microphone down on the stage floor carefully and deliberately and walked straight out the side door without a single word. The auditorium went silent in the way places only go. Silent when something is genuinely wrong. People looked at each other, whispered. The drama teacher appeared on stage and said Nick was not feeling well, but her face said she had no idea what had just happened either. Nobody saw Nick for 3 days. When he came back, he was different in a way that was hard to name, but impossible to miss. He did not joke. He did not smile at people in the hallway. He sat quietly in classes that had spent years watching him make teachers laugh. Then the real story came out. That morning, the morning of the talent show, Nick's best friend since elementary school had tried to hurt himself. For months, this boy had been targeted anonymously online. People sent him message after message, mocking his anxiety, telling him he was a burden, telling him that everyone around him was only pretending. He read those messages late at night, when the house was quiet and nobody could see him. He never stopped showing up. He never stopped laughing along with everyone else. He was so good at performing okay that nobody looked closer. Nick had been so focused on making people laugh that he had stopped looking at the people closest to him. His best friend had stopped joining them for lunch months earlier. Nick made jokes about him being too cool for them now when his friend started wearing long sleeves every day regardless of how hot it was. Nick teased him about being cold-blooded like a lizard. His friend laughed. Nick laughed. Nobody asked any question. Later, Nick found out that his friend had been up for entire nights reading those messages, alone, in the dark, with nobody to call because he did not believe anyone would take him seriously. I sat with Nick in his car after school one afternoon a few weeks later. He stared out the windshield for a long time before he said anything. Checked on in a while, I'd go check on them. Then subscribe. New stories every week that remind you what actually. My whole life was just one big joke, he told me, and he needed an actual friend. He was literally screaming for help and I just kept making him laugh instead of asking if he was okay. His friend survived. He got help. He is still here. But Nick has never been the same kind of funny since. The jokes still come sometimes. The gift did not disappear. But there is something underneath them now that was not there before. The quiet awareness that the people laughing hardest are sometimes the ones who most need someone to stop and ask how they really are. If this made you think of someone you haven't.